welcome to my channel. What we have here is the Rough Ryder VG10. Has it got a product number? RR2202. It comes in this little box, and you know, I like to see them go back to this, you know, because it's a lot smaller of a box than something like this. Look at this, it's like a brick. I appreciate the artwork that goes into it. It's a little magnetic thing and all this other stuff. But if you get more than one Rough Ryder, those boxes start accumulating a lot of surface area. I like to keep all the boxes if I can, unless it's something, you know, that's just like a complete piece of paper. But this is nice. All right, now what I got here are these are some different similar things, like a Wharncliffe shape. And this is another that's similar to this in that it's got the aluminum handle and it has this black. This one originally had black paint on the bolster. And I just scraped it off. You can kind of see it scraped there. I scraped that off because they were trying to make it look like there was a difference between the bolster. Okay, I get that. But when they put the paint on these, they were just easy to flake off. It was just like, that's all it would take, is something like that, and it'd flake off. Well, then it started looking funky. Now, I don't mind the knife looking, you know, worn and funky, but when you get a brand new knife, why do that if your primer is not right? Now, I've heard that these don't do that as much, so I'm not going to scrape this off. I'm going to start using it and carrying it. But what I wanted to compare it to is with these, and already I can tell you right now, this is the Rough Ryder Easy Open one. It's in, man, it's got a strong pull on it, which I like. I like that. My finger just falls right in there. This is a great knife, but it's around $50. I don't know exactly how much it is, but it's around $50. So it's a higher end piece that you may not be able to afford. Now the work knife, of course, yours not going to look like that. This one, like I said, I was experimenting. It'll look better than that. I've got another one that looks better than that. These, right now, I can tell you, compared to that one, I haven't used this one much, but I can tell you right now, these feel bigger in the hand. They feel sturdier. They feel like they're going to put in a lot more work. I'd say like a medium type of use for traditional knife. You know, none of them are really gonna, pocket knife's not gonna really get into super heavy duty unless it's the only thing you've got left and it's by an accident, because you should be using some other type of knife like a fixed blade by then, if it's that bad, or a more sturdy fixed pocket knife. Now this one has no half stop. It's made out of VG10. Very nice lock up there. The walk feels kind of gummy. I haven't oiled this or cleaned this or anything. This is exactly how it comes out of the box. You've got a slight sway in it. You know, it's kind of a sway back. So you got kind of a sway in it, and it feels much more slender. Sort of kind of slick feeling here. There's some texture, but it feels kind of slick. But this blade to me feels, I don't know if it's, we're going to have to measure all this. I think the blade stock might be thinner, but this thing definitely, we'll weigh it. It definitely feels lighter than any of these. Now this guy, like I said, it has a half stop. It's also VG10. It will come with the black on it like this, and two colors, green and blue. Just a little bit bigger in the hand, a little bit thicker in the spine. Now, one of the things I want to say about Wharncliffes and stuff, if you ever go to sharpen your blade, watch out, because you don't have I guess you could take off a little bit. If you start getting that tip up too high on some of these, I'm thinking particularly of cracky, that particular knife, because I got as a replacement, and I started sharpening them, and you really got to watch out with the tip up here, especially if you're using a belt sander, or, a belt grinder. You can take a lot of that tip off and make it start sticking up. And then you're going to have to start lowering the kick, and then you've got to worry about, see, this is what I was mentioning earlier. See that stop pin in there? That way, they don't have to have somebody grind this kick down. It still comes down. Does it engage that? Let's look at that. Yeah, it does. It does run into the, yeah, it has to. It runs into that. Whatever you use, as long as I don't get a wrap from this raised portion right here, I'm happy. You know, because I want to be able to go like this and not worry about, oh man, I just dulled my knife. Why? Oh, because I didn't baby it. Ease it down. Is that good enough for you? We don't want to hurt you. You know, work knife, like I said, sometimes your hand gets slippery. Oh, and if it's got enough spring, you can't stop it. It's going to come down. To me, that's one of the minimum requirements a folding knife should have, is that if the blade is sharpened, which after all, it's what we're after on a knife, is an edge, right? If the thing is sharp and you let it drop under its own tension, it's about to do it. I'm trying not to give it any extra. Oh, good snap on it. And it puts a ding in the blade. You've done something wrong in your manufacturing process. I don't care who you are. Case, Rough Ryder, GEC, anybody. And all of those have done that. Have I gotten a case? I have not received a case that's gotten pin wrap. I don't have an extensive case collection, but I have received a GEC that got pin wrap. So if GEC can do it, of course it was 71 Farm and Field. But this one's not getting that, and that's good. So let's not worry about that. I get carried away off about something. It looks like it's got removable. I'd say those are T6. I'll tell you in the description. VG10. Pretty consistent. A Wharncliffe, you should be able to get a consistent bevel on, right? Because it's just a straight edge. And I like this shape, this slope. Do we have a swedge? No, not really. And that's good. I don't, they don't all need a swedge. These guys are into swedging. I like to keep as much metal on the tip as possible. The thickness, not too thick, but usually that's where a blade's going to snap. Yes, a lot of times because you're doing something stupid with it, like using it as a screwdriver. But a Wharncliffe shape is pretty cool. I really like this. This is good for cuts like this. You can do draw cuts. It's got a nice kick here still. Sometimes when they put these little pins in, they don't always give you much of a ricasso or an area here for your finger. And if you don't have a locking blade, you're going to want that, really. This one has a very strong spring on the back of it. Let me see what the opening pull is. Smack! All right, going from the nail neck. Yeah, that's about a 5 getting into a 6. It gets easier here. It's kind of easy, and then it's kind of getting ready to snap up. Let's see where our snap up is. I see the people that do this on a blade. I'm like, all right, I cut myself enough as it is. But yeah, that usually gives you more leverage, because right here it's hard to do that. This is the safer way to do that, by the way. Just saying. All right, here it comes. See, that's kind of mushy right there. If you oil that, ooh, yeah, it's got a good snap to it. And a good transition here. Let's look at, this is on purpose, that little slice right there. All right, would you please focus on that camera? Let's zoom in. I think there's a minor, if you really want to freak about it, I think there's a minor gap in here. Yeah, you can kind of see it. See it kind of open up on the top one? Not much, really. For me, it's smooth here. You don't feel anything when it's open. It's where your thumb's going to rest anyway, nice and smooth. No jimping, but like I said, I don't really worry about jimping. Sometimes it's handy. I like jimping for the ones that got a little ramp up there, a thumb thing, because that'll keep your thumb from going super high. But if I'm working on wood and stuff, I prefer just this metal right here. I prefer not to have the little pressure points of the little teeth digging into me. All right, let's try him. Oh, I dropped my special sticker. Get over there. All right, let's see here. I'm going to try it from here. Oh, yeah, pretty nice, man. This one is... And this is VG10 also. It says right there. So it's a step up from 440A, 440B. I'd put it about equivalent with 440C. In my mind, it may be a little bit better. I like VG10. I'm glad that they're going to that on more knives. All right, we got to get the weight in here. Quit wasting everybody's time. So yeah, there's your price range. I think this one would make a good. This one would do. It's slender. It's more slender than this guy. It doesn't have a lanyard hole. It can be disassembled as compared to pinned. You can see where I squished this because it did. You use them eventually. A lot of them will, the pivot pin will get loose, and all you got to do is squeeze it or smack it with a hammer, and it'll tighten it back up. Kind of to one side there. For those people that freak about that, yeah, you're gonna have a conniption on this one. Cause yeah, that blade goes down there, and then yeah, it hugs that right side. But it's not scraping, I can tell. Yeah, it's got a nice flat grind to it and everything. I like it. Snap. All right, get to the weight and quit playing around with it. I like this one. I don't know if you could tell that or not. All right, it's in grams. I have no idea on grams. And if I see it, let's set it to, I want to put in ounces, see how close I am. All right, there's ounces. 2.8, 3 ounces, 2.83. 2.6. Oh, I was close. Yeah, I couldn't tell. Let's compare it to... Now, this guy's got a lanyard on him, so... 3 ounces. And this one is 2.5. Well, that guy's less than this one. Well, they're about the same. 2.57. Well, yeah, this one's just a little bit... I wouldn't have thought that. There's a sticker in the spine. They're almost the same knife. Made out of different materials. Like I said, this one doesn't have a swedgy. Does this guy have a swedgy? I don't think he's got a swedgy either. Yeah, he's got a little one. See, it's wedged into the nail neck. No, this one doesn't. It's more slender. It's more slender. All right, let's get the grammages for those people that are on that particular... I think they were. No, they weren't. Ignore all those last numbers. I'll edit that out. 2.4. 2.5. They're all within the same range. 3. Part of this may be the lanyard that I threw on there. And 2.5. So, there's your weights. Oh, get off that. Stop it. Oh, turn yourself off. Peppy. You're supposed to keep an eye on these things, Peppy. So yeah, it comes pretty sharp out of the box for those of you that can't sharpen a knife, don't want to learn how to do sharpening. This should do you well. VG10, it should last for quite a while until you can send it off for sharpening somewhere. And I think it's got a pretty good edge bevel on it for my calibrated eyeballs. It's been calibrated over the years. I actually worked in a job where I had to look at angles and they had to be within specifications. So I know a little bit about using angle cubes and measuring angles and stuff like that. I know how to do all that. I just think on a knife that costs $17 that they're doing a pretty good job here. I would give them a pat on the back. So, there you go. That's my evaluation of that knife. It's well within the same price as this. This would just be a personal opinion thing on you. Maybe you wanted to go for the more steel or whatever. This one would be you were going for fit and finish, which, yeah, this one is a little bit better fit and finish. The steel on this one is D2, so again, you could factor in the steel if you wanted to. And this guy I just brought him out to compare the aluminum handles to this one. Now, another thing you may not notice right now, and you probably wouldn't notice if you were carrying it, is that if you leave this on your nightstand and it gets cold in your room or whatever at night, when you go to pick this up and put it in your pocket, you will notice that a lot more than you would with micarta. Micarta will not feel as cold as aluminum does. Just a minor little thing. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day. I wanted to measure thickness, because I know this thing is a lot more slender. We're just going to take like the middle of the knife. 0.41 compared to 0.5 compared to 0.46. So it is more slender than these guys. Might as well, since you were already in here with everybody else. 0.46. You're the same as that guy. Alright, do we need to see them in millimeters? Yes, we do. Equal time, equal time. 10 millimeter, 10.4. 12.54. 12 roughly. 11.9. See? That difference right there, I could figure out a lot easier just by looking at it on the millimoid scale. Thank you for watching this and sticking all the way to the end.